Pearl Mimic Pro is a revolutionary new breed of drum module. Let's walk through the setup process to ensure the Mimic Pro will properly read the information coming from your pads and triggers. By using a mounting bracket, you can attach the Mimic Pro to a drum stand or rack system. Pearl's RDMM mounting bracket is sold separately. Be careful not to damage the data wheel and display screen when turning over the module. Start each screw finger tight, then use a screwdriver to firmly secure the bracket to the module. Be careful not to over-tighten. Connect the power cord into the jack on the far right. Don't forget to secure the cable into the plastic tab. Next, plug in the cables to attach your pads or triggers for performance. Please note the instrument names labeled on the back: snare, kick, hi-hat, hi-hat control, ride, 4 toms, 2 crashes, and 5 available aux inputs for additional pads. The hi-hat uses 2 cables, one for the pad, one for the controller. The controller is the device that reads the hi-hat pedal movement. The ride uses 2 cables, one for the bow and edge, the other for the bell. Mimic Pro supports all popular electronic drum pads and cymbals from various manufacturers. It's recommended to always use TRS balanced cables to ensure a stereo output signal with your dual and triple zone pads. Use the MIDI ports to connect any external sound module or MIDI device. The aux-in is where you can connect your smartphone or other audio playback devices. Plug in your mixer or output sources using the 6 line-out jacks. The default stereo outs will be line-out jacks 1 and 2. Channels 7 through 14 are accessible using the DB25 to TRS audio cable. Connect your headphone or in-ear monitors here. The line-out jacks will still function even if the headphone is being used. Press the Mimic Pro power switch and the Pearl Powered by Stephen Slate window will appear before taking you to the home screen. When you power up the Mimic Pro for the first time, the kit screen at the top will read U001 Masters. This is a user bank and does not contain any instruments. Double tap on the U001 Masters name on the top kit screen and it will open up presets. Pick a kit from the list by highlighting it. Let's try number 23, Universal. Press the Load Kit button from the lower left-hand corner or press the data wheel to load the kit. Once you do this process for the first time, the user kit will no longer be the default kit. Since Mimic Pro does not include electronic pads or cymbals, you will need to choose a pad preset from the available list. Mimic Pro ships complete with presets for most popular pads from a variety of manufacturers. Turn the headphone fader down to protect your ears and your headphones. You can do this by using the touchscreen or turning the data wheel. Press the trigger settings button. The Mimic Pro works with most major electronic pads, triggers, and cymbals. Choose your model number by selecting it from the drop-down menu for each trigger input. Should you own a pad not included on the list, you must choose a preset you feel best represents a similar technology and performance to the pad you have. Strike the electronic pad or trigger source to make sure you're getting signal through your selected channel. To use the X-Talk suppression function, press the Settings button, then the Capture Crosstalk button from the trigger setting screen. Now you need to go through the X-Talk Learn procedure. You need to capture signals from the head and bow. Just select the pad, press the Start Capture Head button, hit the head with 5 high velocity strokes. Allow the signal meter to fully cycle through after every strike of the drum. If your chosen preset has a switch in the rim location, as shown here, you will not see a button adjustment for this parameter. If your chosen preset does have a piezo trigger in the rim location, you will need to set the crosstalk parameters for the rim next. After setting the head as before, now choose the rim button and strike the rim 5 times, again allowing the meter to fully fade out after each strike. Press the Store button to save your settings. Repeat this process for your remaining pads and any crosstalk should now be eliminated. Make it a habit to apply the X-Talk suppression function to all your pads before a performance. Because there's a lot of nuances to hi-hat cymbals, this adjustment is required for your pedal controller movements to be detected correctly. Make sure the hi-hat and hi-hat controller cables are plugged into the proper inputs on the back of the module. Press the Trigger Settings button and select the hi-hat from the trigger input list. Then select the model of controller you have connected to the hi-hat controller input on the back of the module. Tap the hi-hat control position tab to access the calibration screen. The Mimic Pro will automatically select default values for all hi-hat positioning for the model selected. To manually calibrate your hi-hat, start by locating the meter at the bottom left of the calibration screen. You will notice 3 colored threshold lines: red, yellow, and blue. The gray bar represents the movement of the hi-hat. The red, yellow, and blue threshold parameters can be set by dragging in one of their corresponding setting areas on the touchscreen, or by double tapping in the corresponding setting area and turning the data wheel for finer increments. The red line represents the max open position and will line up with the gray hi-hat location bar when no pressure is applied to the hi-hat pedal. If it doesn't, adjustment will be required. The yellow line, or closed open border threshold, is the transition point between open and closed, resulting in a sloshier semi-closed hi-hat sound, and should be adjusted to your taste. The blue line is the max closed position, in which pressure is applied to the pedal to get a tight hi-hat sound. Adjust the line to the gray hi-hat location bar when full pressure is applied to the hi-hat pedal. This position will vary between users and will need to be adjusted to your playing style. Thank you for wanting to learn more about the most advanced drum module on the market, Pearl Mimic Pro. We highly recommend that you carefully read the Mimic Pro manual to get the full experience of what this module has to offer. Find the manual and other quick tip videos at pearlmimicpro.com.